Well, hello everyone, this is Jason from Iron Mission. Hey, thanks so much for being here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. We're going to go over the good and the things you should really watch for if you're looking at purchasing this bike. Let's go take a closer look. Let's take a ride. I am super excited to bring you this review of the Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. Get on this bike and ride it. It is one of my favorite bikes in Harley Davidson's lineup as of the making of this video. And Joanna has been looking at this, in her words, for something a little bit more nimble. She's got a 23 Road King and she likes this bike for something a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to ride, believe it or not. And this bike is no joke. It has got the 117-inch cubic inch engine that puts out 114 horsepower and 128 foot-pounds of torque. That's no joke for a bike that weighs just over 700 pounds at 712 pounds. Seat height is right around 27 inches, and so it's going to fit most riders. I'm around 5'9", and as you're going to see, it is a really nice fitting bike for me. And although this engine puts out a ton of horsepower, the gas mileage is still pretty good, rated at around 47 miles per gallon. And Harley usually does a pretty darn accurate job of rating their efficiency of their engines. Comes with anti-lock brakes and cornering enhanced anti-lock brakes and traction control and slip control and the tire monitoring system. And so you're getting all the electronics, plus you're getting all the modes in a really nice looking motorcycle. Let's get on this thing. And this is a bike I absolutely love. It is a fairly comfortable bike. There is a couple small things that I would do to it to suit my needs. Again, as someone who's right around 5'9", if you're a taller rider, you might have slightly different preferences. And so as I get on this motorcycle, one of the things I'm noticing is the foot pegs are high. And I'm used to my Harley Limited. I'm used to my Pan American. I've got a ZH2 at home. And so these pegs are a little bit higher. I think if this were my bike, one of the first things I would do is get rid of the pegs, get floorboards, and get them a little bit lower and a little bit further forward, knowing full well that's going to take away some of my cornering ability, but I would be okay with that. The other thing for me is the handlebars are nice width. I would prefer them back just a couple of inches so I could sit a little bit more upright. I feel like I'm a little bit pulled forward, and so I would probably get some risers and bring those things back an inch or two. And I think at that point you've got basically, for me, a nearly perfect rider triangle. I love the fact that we have a display, especially on the 26s, that is really easy to read. It's in your face. You know how fast you're going. If you want to know your RPMs or the time or what mode you're in, it's all right there. No having to look down at the gas tank and try to figure all that out and take your eyes off the road. By the way, the gas tank is 5 gallons, and so you're going to get a lot of range out of this bike. So if you're looking for this bike to maybe pick up some of those longer hauls, maybe some of those multi-day, week-long trips, this is a bike properly outfitted. I think it could do it. It does come with the hard bags. I don't necessarily like the fact that the hard bags open to the side. I wish Harley would stop doing that. I wish all the bags open from the top. Just makes them a little bit more usable. It's a minor thing, but in terms of usability, I think it would go a long way. Bike looks great. It's one of my favorite looking Harley Davidsons out there today. I love that fairing, and it does give you some wind protection. It's not going to be crazy over the top. If you wanted a slightly larger windshield, you could add that as well. But I think it really does give you a nice mix of weather protection, wind protection, but also looks really stylish. And I think that's the complaint sometimes people when they get into the road glides or like the limiteds. I've got the Batwing fairing. Sometimes people think those are a little bit too large. I disagree, but hey, you know what? If you like that look, this is definitely a bike to consider. Handles well. Like I said, it's just over 700 pounds, around 712 pounds. So it is a bike that is, you're kind of straddling that heavier side, but at the same time, it's not nearly as heavy as a Street Glide that's going to be up over 800 pounds, or like my Limited that could easily go 900 pounds or greater. And so for me, this bike actually feels pretty light and nimble. All the controls really easy to reach. You've got them all right there. Turn signals, high beams, when you're switching modes, when you're doing all that stuff, super easy to use. At this point, if you're looking at a bike that's going to do a little bit more touring, is the suspension going to be as good as, let's say, a Street Glide or a Road Glide? No, it's a Softail. So you're going to make a little bit of compromise there. but you've got a lighter, more nimble bike that might be in some people's eyes a little bit more stylish. But yeah, if you are looking for the suspension of a street glide or road glide, I think you should just look at those motorcycles. I mean, obviously there's aftermarket suspension here, but I think the stock suspension is pretty darn good. Again, cornering, acceleration is outstanding on this bike. Like I said, it's got the high output 117. This bike and the Lowrider S both have those engines, and it moves this thing very, very well. You're not going to be wanting for more power, and I think that's something, at least for me, I would have to strongly consider, because with my 114, I put a cam in it and did all that stuff, and this bike in sport mode, I'm pretty sure would take that 114 with the Woods 22 XC cam pretty easily. So it's kind of nice to be able to get a bike right out of the box and say, okay, yeah, this is a bike that moves pretty good for within its class, and is going to give you that performance that you want and the handling that you want. So I like this, again, because you can ride around on this all day long and just go from one place to another if you're just doing little small day trips or little bar hopping motorcycle. But at the same time, with just a few tweaks, this could turn into a bike that you can easily do 1,000 or 2,000 miles on over the course of a few days or even a week or so. I don't think it's that far off. The other thing is, yeah, while the street glides and the road glides, they have that big, huge TFT screen, I have found more and more that I'm using my Cardo headset and my phone for the vast majority of the things that I want to do. And so you get yourself a Cardo phone mount, you slap that on this bike, and I think you've pretty much got all the electronics that you're going to need. And so if you're someone who doesn't want to be overwhelmed with electronics, but still wants those rider aids, this is, again, a bike that is a really good mix. And I think that's one of the things that Harley's done with this Lowrider ST, is it's given you a whole lot of really nice things. It's giving you a performance bagger that is awfully quick, still nimble, more nimble than the street glides and the road glides. It's giving you some touring ability with that fairing, some weather protection, wind protection. You can make it even more so if you want. And it's giving you a fashionable bike that looks good. Would I probably do something with this seat? Yeah, because I tend to be more of a long miles guy, and so I would probably get a seat that's going to allow for that a little bit easier. The stock seat is fine, but I wouldn't use that if I were going to be knocking out thousands of miles at a time on this particular motorcycle. If I'm just using it for around town, it's a perfectly adequate seat. Let's talk about price a little bit. This thing starts out right around $24,000. If you option it out with chrome and the paint job and stuff like that, it starts creeping up closer to $26,000. Now here's maybe the one drawback to this motorcycle. This is getting in the realm, the price point of the stripped down the street glide. So if you wanted a solo street glide, that starts at $25,000. That is, and you're getting the suspension, you're getting the touring frame, you're getting the TFT screen, you're getting something that's going to be out of the box, a better touring motorcycle. So you really have to decide what it is you want, because this bike is starting to cross over into those touring bikes, and that could definitely be a weak spot for this. Starting out, like I said, right around 24 and creeping up to 26, you've crossed that line into the actual touring market at that point. Now, is this a bike for a beginner? Is this a good first bike? Probably not. And the reason why I say that is, again, it's a 700-pound plus motorcycle, which is starting to get up there, and it's a fast motorcycle. And you really got to be on your toes with this bike, because 700 pounds moving as fast as this does, it's not an outright fast bike. Listen, I've got the Pan America. The Pan America blows this away without even trying. I've got a Kawasaki ZH2. I can blow this bike away probably using that bike in reverse. I mean, it's not even close. However, this is a tricky bike to handle for a beginner, because it's a larger motorcycle that has a lot of power. And when you combine those two things, I don't recommend this bike for beginners. In fact, we've done an entire video on the best Harley Softails, or the best Harleys for beginners. I want to put that in the upper right-hand corner. We've also ranked all the Harley Softails, which I will put that in the upper right-hand corner as well as in the description below, just so you get an idea of where the different Softails lie and their features and things like that. And we both, myself and my wife, really love this bike. It is, I'll spoil it for you, it's ranked near the top. It's not the top, but it's ranked near there because it is such a versatile motorcycle. Now, for me personally, if I were picking a Softail, knowing that I have the Limited, this would probably be my pick, just because I love the performance aspect, and I still like to have that fairing and a little bit of the wind and weather protection when it's needed. But solid motorcycle. The only adjustments that I would make, I would have to lower these foot pegs a little bit, bring them a little bit further forward, and I would probably switch from pegs to floorboards, and I would absolutely take those handlebars and at least move them back a couple inches so I'm not feeling like I'm a little bit hunched forward. If you're a taller person with longer arms, you might be fine with the handlebars, but you might have to deal with the foot peg situation a little bit. But if you want more information, once again, on Great Beginner Harleys, I've got that in the upper right-hand corner. For the soft tails that we ranked, that's in the lower right-hand corner. As always, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. Ride safe, everyone.